question. Remember what it was?
No, not exactly.
Well, you asked me, you said, what was I thinking when I called you? What got me to call you?
Right, I remember that question.
And you remember what I said to you? I said nothing. I said, God gave you what you asked for. It wasn't me. You know, you got to give God all the credit for this. God is giving this to you. It's not me.
Okay.
It's your God connection. And then I said to you, when I get off the phone, you'll still be with God. And God will still be there to help you.
Right.
Were you still with God? Did you take help from God?
Yes. I try to maintain yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I try to maintain a connection through prayer and meditation and reading and things to keep a connection with God. Yes.
Have you noticed that texting, questions, getting signals is your God connection?
Yes. I know that that's coming from a higher source. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. So we're on the same page. Now, what you also want to notice, and you told me there's another part of the story that you didn't mention here, which is yesterday you were working really hard, you know, taking things out, getting signals, asking questions, getting signals, removing things, removing causes of the disease. Then you got really busy and you stopped doing that. And, you know, that was sometime in the middle of the day, I guess, and then overnight pain came. Is that what happened?
Yes, I had gotten to feeling kind of like I was detoxing. My head had started hurting, and I started feeling a little nauseous. And it was like a detoxing type of a feel after I spent 3 to 4 hours doing the testing and removals. And yes.
You understand that there is no put down in anything anybody says to you here, right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't want you to get your feelings hurt by anything, because all we intend to do is build you up and help you. I'm just wondering, is there anything you learned about yourself that you haven't said?
That I need to, I guess, just try to push through the pain more than I have been. I don't know other than that I should be more in control of my health.
Okay, I don't think that that's anything about yourself at all. Now, I'm going to tell you another thing I want to tell you is you may really not like what we do here tonight or what you hear. I mean, if it works, if it's actually having an effect, it may feel very unpleasant to you. I'm warning you about that. And you can just be prepared for it so it won't, floor you, and maybe it'll help you feel better with it, because I want you to feel good about this. I want you to feel good about learning about yourself.
Yes, I do too. I want to learn about myself and what I'm capable of. Yes.
I didn't hear anything about you. I heard about things about what you need to do, and about what would be good for you, and about, you were surprised to find that there were awful things wrong with you, and when you were detoxing, you were actually thinking, you might have been curing the endometriosis when you were detoxing. Test if you were. Just ask that test and see if you get a test on that.
Okay. Was I curing any of the endometriosis when I was detoxing? Yes.
So you started to cure it, and then you stopped. And now you are going to have surgery tomorrow. And all this happened within just a few days. Does that say anything to you about yourself? Can you learn anything from looking at your actions? What does all that suggest to you about you?
A couple days ago after the first show, I spent a lot of time working.
Oh, okay. So you were doing a lot of it, and you felt a lot of detoxing going on.
Right.
Was that a good feeling?
It was good for me to know that something was happening. Yes.
And then when you stopped yesterday because you got busy, did the detoxing also stop?
Yes, the detoxing stopped not too long after that.
And then the pain started after the detoxing stopped?
Yes, more pain started increasing, yes.
What happened was you stopped, the pain started, and then you didn't go back to doing this. Then you didn't do it.
I didn't do it because...
Now, let me tell you why you didn't do it. Okay?
Okay.
You didn't do it because you're somebody who doesn't cure things. And you live in a world full of people who don't cure things. And you're like everybody else in the world. You're not nothing really terrible or awful about it. You're just an ordinary, regular old, everyday Jane Doe. You know, you don't cure things. When you get sick of them, you die of them, you host the thing your entire life, and then you die of it or from it or whatever, and this is what people do. It's what everybody does. You get sick, you go to the doctor, you sit in the waiting room for 3 hours waiting to be seen, and then you go in and you go another 6 hours, with tests and, MRIs and stuff, and you get home, you've been in the hospital 9 hours getting tested and talked to, and when you leave, they say, well, come back, Thursday and we'll give you your test results. You don't even know anything. You're helpless. I mean, this is almost everybody in the world.
Right.
Things. You have to experiment, and you can't be written in stone. I mean, it would be easier for people if we said, okay, you just, step one, and we tried all that, and it fell flat because it's a fluid thing. It's not a finite thing.
Each person has to design their own cure.
That's right.
Do people have to ask a lot of questions?
Yes.
And test them for themselves?
Yes.
And okay, and this is, and see, now that that's said, let's look into this book again. Boy. Now look, I'm going to put this another way. What I said before. This is about being a good person. It is about, because if you don't transform into a good person, become thoroughly good. I mean, I know you're good, I know that everybody has tons and tons and tons of good, so I know that, I'm not saying you're a bad person or something, I'm talking about being a good person. And if you don't feel that happening, if you don't feel a transformation in that direction, you are not curing. Look, the danger with this, the problem with this, is that it looks like a magic bullet. Like when you start doing this, you take out a bug, the symptoms disappear. There's a cure show, and it's under sinusitis or sinus infection on the Cure Show page. I can't remember the guy's name, but I think he's the only Cure Show there. He's a massage therapist. He comes into the Cure Show with a sinus infection that he's had for 2 weeks. And over the course of an hour, to your amazement, and this is not a movie, it's an audio, you hear him cure this, you hear his symptoms. He had stiff neck, back and neck and knots, stuffed sinuses, runny eyes, the sinuses drain, the back releases, the neck releases, the symptoms all go, the sore throat goes away. In about an hour, everything's gone. And it isn't obvious to people who don't cure things when they hear this that you have a good person continue and consistently get these results. And he probably was, a very, very good person when he started. I didn't know him, but I just get that feeling. But if you're holding on to some badness, This is going to infect you in every way. It will keep recreating and regenerating whatever it is you're curing. And see, most people cannot understand this, because they take something like, well, for one thing, if you're using an allopathic model, I mean, this is deceptively like taking penicillin and watching a bacterial infection disappear, which a lot of times these days doesn't happen, because a lot of these bacterial infections now are resistant to antibiotics, and you can't cure them, with an antibiotic. It's happening more and more, or the cure is slow, or it's partial, or the antibiotics have to be stronger and stronger. But let's just say, simple, easy, quick, and painless. You take the medicine, the bug is gone, and you say, okay, fine, now I can go back to lying, cheating, stealing, womanizing, whatever, or manizing, whatever it is you do, and you don't realize that this just doesn't work that way, okay? You will regenerate these things, including things that, like, people cure their herpes, and they say, oh, I'm not going to get into telling any more stories right now. All I'm going to tell you is this is about being a good person. It's about curing yourself in all ways. So when you ask questions, when you test, it's about becoming somebody who cures things. And so this promise I ask you for, I say, promise me. This is the most important gift you've ever been given. It's the greatest, the hugest gift you have ever been given. At least as far as human ability goes, as far as your abilities, your immune system. It's the most important thing you have ever learned. It's more important than your medical degree from Harvard. It's more important than your law degree from Yale. This is the most important thing your children can learn. It's more important than learning to read. It's learning to live. And speaking as someone who enjoys reading very much, when I say this, I am not speaking lightly. It's not like I'm illiterate saying that, okay? This is important, And when I ask you to help other people, don't let other people be sick. When you're somebody who cures something, you can't stand to see someone being sick. And this is a change that you have to choose to make. And you will know that you are making the change when you see a sick person and you just can't tolerate it. And you just cannot resist. You can't resist but go the distance with them. And so many people say to me, well, I told my friend about it and they weren't interested. Well, you don't take that. You just don't, you say, okay, I don't care whether you're interested, you cannot be sick. I won't allow it. You do not allow illness. Okay? What can I say? We stand up. Like, what would it be like for you to know that there doesn't have to be an AIDS epidemic? Because as you continue with Lesson 1, in Lesson 1, it's going to dawn on you, gee, there doesn't have to be an epidemic of HIV. Or, you hear about bird flu on the news, and they keep saying, these scientists keep saying, well, it's just a matter of time before there's a mega epidemic. Watch the History Channel, and you hear this, And it dawns on you, well, gee, that doesn't have to be people don't have to get hurt by that. It doesn't have to take over. So, see, I'm asking you this for you. Does that make if that makes any sense? I'm asking you to do this for you. That this is I mean, it's also clear to me because, of course, I'm on the other side of it. You know, maybe I'm not doing such a hot job of telling this to you. There are only two ways out of this for you. It's to stay somebody who doesn't cure things or become somebody who does. And when you're somebody who does, you make the promise. You know that joke I was telling about the Bayard Winfrey show? You know, but the thing is, isn't it true that Oprah, you know, I identify with Oprah because she is a good person and she stands for being a good person. When she talks about being the best person you can be, that's what that means. I think she has trouble explaining it. When I listen to her, I hear that, you know, it's like, you know, it's either you're doing it for you or you're doing it for them, but the two things are not one. See, there's a point. If you actually assimilate what you're being taught to do here, what you're being trained to be, the two things become one. I mean, what can I don't know. That's it, buddy. I don't know how else to put it yet. I'll think hard about this, though. I'm always trying to improve these talks.
You know, I grew up, my mom's
Okay.
and I think there's a lot of pain I've stuffed with that my whole life. And that's something that I think I've never addressed. I've just stuffed, and I think it could have brought on other things as well, like the anxiety, like a lot of issues.
You know, an oddball question to test is, do I have trauma from other lives that affect me now?
Do I have trauma from other lives that affect me now?
Okay, how about trauma from my past life, my mother's alcoholism? Test that.
Do I have trauma from my mom's alcoholism?
Or my childhood, you know, the past and, you know, my past. See if you get anything on that.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about what we call current trauma, are things that happened usually within the last 45 days. 5 days. Ask if I have any current trauma.
Do I have any current trauma that's happened in the last 45 days? Getting a yes.
It's over 10.
Is it over 10 days?
No, over 10 trauma.
Oh, over 10?
We're just trying to get a number of trauma right now.
Oh, over 10 traumas. Saying yes.
Okay, so you have over 10 current trauma. Okay. Now, we don't have time to get into that in the beginning of this lesson, but I want to ask you, when you test these, when you get these signals on in your hand,
right,
does the way you feel change every time, or just some? Because it's changed a few times, but does it change every time or just sometimes? Can you tell?
Yeah. It changes every time, but I think my reactions to it are, you know,
different.
Surprising. Yeah, because like that, what we just did, over 10 traumas,
Yeah, right.
It kind of shocked me because I didn't think.
Well, you see, you're getting information from a higher power, a higher source of intelligence. This isn't. It's coming from, you know, you're not thinking about this.
Right.
This is information coming in. I see a big pooch who wants a treat. Not that I've got one on me or anything.
So you're saying God is helping me.
Well, you're saying that
Identify.
test that. Is God helping me? See if you get a signal on it.
Is God helping me?
See if you get a signal.
Is God helping me heal these
Cure.
ailments? Cure these
Cure.
cure these ailments I have. Yes.
You got a signal.
Yes.
And do you feel, did the way you feel change when you...
That makes me feel really good. I mean, it really does. It really does. See, you're a godsend, B.
Well, remember you were saying how you found me the other day?
Yes.
Tell the story.
I'm back in this reserve, which is kind of my
It's a nature preserve, so here
beautiful nature preserve. We're lucky enough to have it behind our home, and it's kind
Right.
of my Prozac in the world. And this is where I go. This is
world
where I
with
go
Prozac.
when I'm stressed, and I had a really bad day, a couple days, due to the business and our economy.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dog Hercules and I went out for a jog, and for some reason, I usually turn up one way to go back home, and something inside me just said, "Keep going straight. Keep going straight."
You heard this little voice.
This little voice.
Like an angel pounding her fist
Yeah,
on your
maybe
back.
it's
Hey,
God.
you!
Hey, you, keep going. And being a Christian like I am, I thought, well, I'm just going to go there. And
Now you realize everybody who does this is not a Christian.
I understand
All the
that.
people who, like the night moderator, I think she's a Hindu. She's in Malaysia.
That's fine.
Yeah, because that's her day.
Yeah.
So that's why she's the night moderator.
Yeah. I guess I'm looking at like, hey, I have Christian beliefs and I believe in something like this.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I kept walking and I ran into B. I call him B.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about this, and I really had a sign right then that I needed to do this with you.
Right.
Do this with you.
Right.
I really.
Okay. Now you need to hear the next installment in the saga of Bill Pelly. And me. So it's about 2 or 3 months after Bill cured his hepatitis. And I'm giving a dinner party. I'm an amateur sushi chef. Very amateur. Hundreds of thousands of dollars and many years of sitting at sushi bars and talking to chefs have trained me to be I'm sort of on a par with a typical Japanese housewife, probably, But I had a dozen people over. Bill walks in red as a beet. I mean, oh my God. I said, Bill, can it be that cold out there? Bill goes, I was going to call you. I don't think maybe I shouldn't have come. I have the flu. I said, what? You have the flu? I said, Bill, you cured hepatitis B. How can you get the flu? Hello, Earth to Bill, I said, did you take it out? He said, no, I didn't think of it, Okay. Which meant Bill was somebody who doesn't cure things, right? I mean, you're starting to see that, the distinction here. So I said, okay, take it out. Go in, we'll have dinner. Don't worry about it. I said, take it out, And I was out in the vestibule. I guess I was greeting somebody else. Phoebe comes running out. Phoebe Turner, another one of my wonderful students. Phoebe says, tell Bill to go home. He's getting the flu. She said, I have to work. I don't want to catch this. I said, Phoebe! I said, you cured epilepsy. How can you get the flu? You're not going to get the flu. Stop. So she went grumbling off. She didn't get it either. See, because there's another person who doesn't cure things. Back then, nobody did. Maybe not even me, but maybe me, because I went back there and I was thinking, boy, this is ridiculous. You know, I said, this is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, Bill cannot get the flu. And see, at that point, maybe I was making the conversion. You know, I really started to get it. And I went over to Bill and I said to Bill, look, I said, I'm going to fillet that fish. And I said, when I turn around, the flu is gone or you're gone. Because it takes like 2 seconds to cure the flu, you know. So I went over, I had these mackerel, and I was filleting them and putting them in the marinade, and I mean, you put rice vinegar on mackerel. And when I turned around, Bill was normal. I mean, his face actually was its normal color. Phoebe was happy, you know. I went over there and I put my arm around Bill and I said, man, I said, you did it, you know, congratulations, you know. And he was, oh my God. So now you see what this movie is about, okay? What we're doing in this movie, you and me and Molly and all the rest of us, all the volunteers and all of us. We want you to be somebody who cures things. I don't care about you curing what you came in here to cure. Honest, I really don't, you know? It's not going to mean anything. I know this from long experience. It won't mean anything. You can cure this, that, and the other thing. It doesn't mean anything. You've got to change. There is a transformation that people have to make, you know? And it's a transformation from being somebody who doesn't cure things to being somebody who does. You know, I'm just laughing because I keep scratching my head, and you're probably thinking, well, looks like you need to cure your dandruff. You know, it's like, I don't know. I do have a little, I think I got a bite before or something. I don't know. But anyway. So that's what the movie's about. Okay? The movie is the purpose of us doing all of this stuff and standing out in the street teaching this and whatever else we do, okay? Handing out bumper stickers on the highway. The purpose of it is to cause there to be more and more and more and more people who cure things, so that there is actually a fundamental shift in the reality in which we live in. And then people won't pollute and start wars and do all the other nutty stuff they do, because why are we so self-defeating? Why is humanity self-defeating? Because we don't cure emotional problems, spiritual. I mean, look at Molly with her depression, spiritual problems. You name it, baby. You know, we don't cure it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to delineate the things that would cause you to fail.
Okay.
Because the path to cure is littered with the bones of people who've learned what you just learned.
Wow.
It's littered with the bones of people who've learned how to cure things.
Okay.
And then they don't. And then they die.
Yeah.
And we never hear about that. See, we only hear about the ones who cure stuff. The ones who die don't talk to us. Funny thing.
Yeah.
You know, they can't send any more emails,
right.
You know. So we're dead, you know, we're dead in the water. So we that's what you and I need to do.
Right.
That's what this lesson has to be about. Is like, so we're going to test our way through this. Okay. You see, and in the process, the people watching will learn to get signals. And the major signal, the most important signal, is this good feeling.
Right.
What does that good feeling mean to you? What is it telling you? What's it a signal of?
To me,
Yeah.
the first word that comes to mind is hope.
Okay. And then what's the second word that comes to? Let's hear all the things it means. It means a lot of things.
Hope. There's a way out of this. There's going to be a cure that doesn't include pharmaceuticals.
And the cure is going to be,
Curing me of anxiety,
and
depression,
you're going to be
and
cured
stress
by
by doing this with you.
So actually you're going to be cured by doing this by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Because see, your homework assignment is that you're going to do what we've been doing as you walk away from here. You know,
Okay.
and you're going to keep doing it until the next time we have another videotaping.
Okay.
Have another videotaping.
Okay.
Someone who reflexively cures things.
Now, when you got that signal, did you get a feeling signal as well as a finger signal?
I got it sort of in my heart and in my hand.
Yeah.
My hand.
And can you describe a little bit about what you felt in your heart?
Well, it's kind of a high-hearted feeling, actually. Maybe kind of a raising of my heart energy, if you want to put it that way.
You know, yesterday I was asking you some questions about yourself and in the phone. You were talking about a period of time when you were living with Celeste, where you basically pretty much stopped curing at things or certain things.
Yeah.
And it was about, I'd like you to test the year and month when it started right now and show that, demonstrate that, hold your hand up. And I want you to ask, when you, during that period, like the year and month, like let's say, did it start in, let's say, 2004 or 3? Go ahead. And when you, and month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and count out loud, see when where you get a signal.
2000. I'm getting 2004 month 1, and I kind of hit a wall. It was almost as if I thought there were things that I just could not. I didn't believe they could be removed.
Okay, well, whatever. Okay.
There were changes.
It's a physical separation. Okay.
Yeah, we had physical separation.
And the year when you actually started curing things again, would that be 2007 to test?
Was it 2007? No, was it 2006? I'm getting early 2007.
Okay, so 2000, would you go January, February? Did you get a signal in January?
Yeah, I got it sort of the first month of January. January 2007 was where I got that. I started really, consciously knowing that I could get back on some sort of a healing track personally, and it was mostly I had given up hope about accomplishing certain things, and then that was deteriorating my health. But then about January 2007 was where I started getting more into curing again and changing my situation.
Your change was very gradual.
Yeah, I remember it was actually during that time too I started making changes, like realizing that I couldn't change, like a lot of my energy. Hurt myself was trying to change her, and one of the things I discovered was that I just was my ability just to be okay with her being the way she is. And then, but that by the time I figured that out, I had hurt myself so much by running so much energy, and every night and arguing and trying to change her that I had to repair the damage.
This is how you can cure this faster. Now I want you to go on the computer screen.
Okay.
And this is the list of lessons, yes, on the computer screen?
Yeah, just a second.
So now we want to zoom on to the list of lessons, and because this is why we have a web college, because this never had to take you 3 years to do this. It could have been happened. Maybe it would have still taken a matter of months.
There it is.
Okay, now, how do you find the things that you need on this page? Because there's more things to test.
I don't know. Well, the way I click on these things, I just sort of scan, and wherever I can feel when my energy pops or my.
Okay, do this. Run your finger down them and see where your finger moves.
Okay.
They can have a visual, because I know you can scan them and you'll just feel the right ones.
Okay, I got a yes on subversions and a yes on ideas.
What you would do is ask this question now. Do I still have any subversions?
Do I have any
and see if you get a
subversions?
signal on that.
Do I have any subversions? Yes. In more than one of my bodies. I have subversions in 3 of my bodies. I'm removing subversions, the tendency to subversions from all my bodies. Yes. I'm removing subversions, yes.
Okay, now you know you're going to have to do this more than once.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have to think about this again tomorrow.
Yes.
But right now, do you notice any change in the way you're feeling?
Again, I feel a little more transparent, I guess you'd say, a little more relaxed and clear. More
You feel
present.
less. You feel less. Good.
Less like I'm
Okay.
hiding. Yeah.
Could you say more about being transparent? Because I understand it, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure our viewers are going to understand.
I guess what I mean by that, what I mean by it is less like I have anything secret or that I'm hiding. Like I feel more free is the way to say it. More free, more light.
So it's a good feeling, right?
Yeah, that's a better feeling.
You know what I want people to hear in this?
What?
I'll tell you basically, everybody is exactly like you, Barb.
Oh, I thought it was
Every
special.
person who... But they're like you in the way that they go without curing things. They're like you in the way that whatever they have to cure is probably on that list that you started running your finger down a little while ago. And the things that they have there are going to stop them from curing the major stuff that they have to cure, which you cured.
Yeah.
Because you cured a lot of other things back.
Well, I can believe that because I was a really like a steamroller, and then I really did run into a wall for a while there. I mean, I had good friends and stuff that supported me, but yeah, it's amazing that I feel like I'm on there's a whole new level to go to. Just when you think you're cured.
When you cured your herpes, you were curing like a bajillion other things like
It's true.
this.
You know, the herpes had a lot to do with just like low self-esteem, I realized later, and just ideas about my sexuality and that kind of thing that were manifesting as a virus. You know, that
for me too.
Yeah, and as
I cured herpes too. I had major problems, emotional problems.
Yeah, I had a lot of negative ideas about myself that lowered my immune system.
As you change into somebody who does not have the illness that you came in here to cure anymore, you will feel an unmistakable change in yourself emotionally and spiritually, and that is instant the minute you cure anything. So if you have gotten one signal that was a feeling, any kind of good feeling, you have directly experienced what I'm saying to you right now. All you have to do to understand what I'm telling you is to look into that feeling that you got, that absence of the disease and the presence of serenity, peace, love, caring, kindness, involvement, relaxation, non-attachment, and also perceptiveness, alertness, the feeling of being alive, your heart opening, or because you didn't think anything could take the pain away, so you didn't ask any questions about that. Because obviously if you think there's nothing you can do, there's nothing to ask a question about. That's somebody who doesn't cure things. That's what they look like. Now listen, I want to make this clear. You are everybody. You are everybody. You're not, I'm not talking to you this way because you're this unique bad girl in the class. You're a good girl. You're wonderful. As students of this go, you're actually pretty terrific. You know, from given what I've seen in the past, you're pretty wonderful. You and John together, you're sort of inseparable to me at this point. You're a team, you know. John films and he's the rock. He's there for you, you know, and you're, you know, doing what you can for yourself, you know, on the calls. But you have when you talk about this and you keep saying all these positive things and all, it's just not real. You haven't got real about it. You're just not real about it. Like you keep saying, I want to, and I think it can help me, and I'm hoping it will, and all this. You go on and on like that. And you tested yesterday that hope is an immune dysfunction. And you just go right back to I hope. Right back to it like it never happened. It had no effect on you. The things God tells you when you get a signal when I'm not around have no effect on you. because you are solid, somebody who doesn't cure things. You just don't. And that's it. That's the world you live in. It's the water you swim in. It's the air you breathe. It's the thoughts you have. You don't think about, like if you hear about a sick friend, you don't say, oh God, I better call her and show her how to cure it. You say, gee, I should call her and give her my sympathy. But you're everybody. Everybody is like this. All the people, or almost all the people we've known and done cure shows with are like you. Just like you. You know what Greg was saying about how Kathy's little boy, he hasn't had a flu, I guess, in maybe over a year, you know? But you know, then he was saying he showed his friends how, and yes, he did. Those are his friends that he was showing in that movie you see in the movie, you know, in the movies, on this movie where this is going to be. But you know what? That little boy who started to cure his allergy or asthma or whatever it was, he didn't continue with that. He still got whatever that was, he still got it. He was somebody who didn't cure things. He did that quick little lesson on the couch with the other kids, and he remained somebody who doesn't cure things, as you have through two-hour cure shows. And this is what you need to understand about yourself. That's what you need to understand about yourself. That's the beginning for you. To know where you are now is the beginning for you. That you test that frustration is an immune dysfunction and you remain frustrated. Or you test that, you had a thought. The thought is, nothing will help this. So you didn't test. Did you test, can anything help this? Could eating something help this? Did you test that question at any time today?
No, I didn't.
Okay. See, the great thing about you is you tell the embarrassing truth about yourself. You sure didn't. Your thoughts are, you can't cure it. And that's the reality you live in. And everything else is an entertainment or a passing, an interesting new idea. As you were saying to me before, I want to get, the information. I want to get the information that's going to come in this cure show. The information isn't going to do you any good. You got information yesterday that didn't help. You with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So where do we go from here? You tell me.